people setting up, the social hour, Lynn's team out there handing out programs and a smile. That is because of our interdependence with the common goal of the oneness of what we do, teach, and serve as the Chico New Thought Center. So, one of my heroes, which I will not wax too poetically, is Ben Franklin. As a kid, I grew up and people would ask about who your hero was, and usually as little girls always had girl heroes, heroines, and Ben Franklin was mine. And the more that I read about him, the older I get, the more I understand why. What a mystical, incredible man. As I said, I could do a whole Sunday talk on Mr. Franklin or Mr. Jefferson, and I would include the Addams family. Not the one in black, the other Addams family, the first Addams family, probably the red, white, and blue one. And Ben Franklin's stated desire was to live without committing any fault at any time. So he would have liked this story about Jarvis, to live without committing any fault at any time towards anyone. And so we add our acknowledgement of the typical freedom of Independence Week and July 4th to the Interdependence, which was a declaration written by historian Will Durant in 1944. Did anyone know about that? You got, see, look, I have enlightened thee. 1944, Will Durant wrote this, and then it went into the UN, and then the UN, the General Assembly created a Declaration of Human Rights, in addition to what we already have. And I thought, well, this is pretty amazing to me. So I want to read to you just a version, just a little bit about what that declaration was. And this version is written by Melanie Bacon, and she says, "We hold these truths to be self-evident, that all life is interconnected and endowed by our Creator with certain inalienable rights and responsibilities." So far, she's preaching to the choir. "That among these are presence, compassion, and the pursuit of happiness. That to secure these rights and responsibilities, we must open our minds and hearts to the needs of others and our own true needs." I'm going to read that again. To secure these inalienable rights that our founding fathers fought for, we must open our minds and hearts to the needs of others and our own true needs. Hence, interdependence. We hear the sound of the living universe in our ears and add our voices to the song. We live every moment with awareness of the purity of power of existence, and for the support of this declaration, we pledge to each other our love and our breath. For the freedom of all of the one is the freedom of the one and one for all, and the pain of the one is the pain of the all. The breath of the one is the breath of the all, and the breath of the all is the breath of God. Now, who knew that that was written in 1944? I'm impressed by that. I'm going to have to do more research. And there is, if you want, it's a little more wordy than that version. There is online, you can get the entire United Nations Assembly Human Rights Declaration. It's lengthy, and I didn't want to go through that, but I thought she paraphrased it so beautifully and so much more in our likening and how we hear things about the compassion, about the service, about the oneness, and about the interdependence that we know as a community. Swami Vivekananda said, "All differences in this world are of degree and not of kind, because oneness is the secret of everything." Oneness is the secret of everything. So next time someone says to you, "What's the meaning of life?" you have an answer. Those of you who didn't read Hitchhiker's Guide and answer 42, you may now answer that oneness is the secret behind everything. So we come together in a center. We come for all sorts of reasons. We come for the fellowship, we come for the music, we sometimes come for the snacks, we come for the upliftment, we come to be together because it's part of our charge. We are human animals, and we like being in a pack or a tribe, and how nice it is to come together with a tribe of like mind that are coming together to know about our inalienable rights, to know about the truth that we are, as Ernest said, in the independence of your own mentality, believe and feel that you are wonderful, because this is not conceit, it is truth. that we come together to know that we've got each other's backs and we've got each other's wings. And I saw that yesterday. We had a community opportunity to support our own Connie Asquith. As some of you know, her husband Roger made an unexpected early transition a couple weeks ago. And so there was a memorial service. And what I saw was the interdependence of the people that love Connie, but also, of course, love Roger, come together to present this opportunity of service, bringing food, singing songs. The choir sang a song. Drenya sang a beautiful solo. And that what I saw as I just watched this was the interdependence of this spiritual community extending its arms around her, that we had her back and Roger's wings. And I thought, wow, that's why we come here. Yes, I hope it's also so you can learn some spiritual tools and ideas about how to improve and enrich your life. And I believe that the reason we come to a church / community / center for spiritual living, call it what you will, is for all of that. Because frankly, we could do all of the learning, book learning, and meditating on our own. We could be one of those solitary monks on the mountaintop doing all of it and, Om Namaste, Om Sha. Great. And that's so rich and wonderful. And yet what is it that we crave? Our pack. We crave each other. And we crave each other because that's just the way we're wired. And we crave each other because we know somewhere down the line when stuff happens, and it does, that we have each other's back. We've got each other's wings. We have each other's paws. That we are here together in this interdependent community to serve each other, to serve the expression of God that we are uniquely, and how we do it in the unique way as I am free to be a religious scientist. That's no small sentence. First of all, people are going to say, if you say, well, I believe in science of mind, I'm a religious scientist, they go, Scientology? Christian Science? So how many of you, in the years that you've been in this teaching, when they say, oh, you go to church on Sunday? Yeah, where do you go to church? You go, oh, religious science. Mm-hmm. What? I'm sorry. Did you say, oh, yeah, I go to church on Sunday. Because you don't want to say to somebody, religious science. It doesn't make sense to them. Yet I bet it would make sense to Ben Franklin, John Adams, and Thomas Jefferson. There was a story I read this week, because, I love reading about this stuff, about when John F. Kennedy was president, and he held a special dinner for all of the Nobel Prize winners up to that point. So there were about 150 various Nobel Prize winners attending this state dinner. And when he got up to welcome them, he said, and I'm paraphrasing, but he said something akin to the fact that never before has there been so much talent and wisdom in this room having dinner, except for when Tom Jefferson dined alone. Never has there been this much talent and wisdom in this room since Thomas Jefferson dined alone. Yes! Yes! You really want to understand our teaching, our principles? And he was an atheist, by the way, Mr. Jefferson. He was also a redhead. But I'm not partial. I'm just patriotic. These are the men that moved us forward as a country to be able for me today to stand here and say, I am proud to be a religious scientist. That is my faith. That is my philosophy. That is my religion. And now I'll go back to Ben. Now, Ben, in his unique ways, he's an amazing man. I think he was a perfect balance of left and right brain, because he was this visionary, as you know. I mean, he was an inventor, a printer, a writer, a politician, an interesting gentleman among a lot. And yet he had a plan. He had charts of things that he would do on a daily basis based on, and I'm about to read to you, which are his 13 virtues. 13 virtues. Wow. And he required he would do this on a daily basis, and each virtue had a different day assigned. It was very linear. I don't know how he did. But he was a printer, so he could print up, Franklin Day Planner. Oh my God, I just got why they call it that. Oh my God. Duh. Okay. I just got that because I was thinking, oh, he probably had the first day planner. Yes, he did. And they honored him. Now, I may have to buy a Franklin day planner now. Okay. Anyway, I digress, as I often do. And now what I would like to do is read to you his 13 virtues. You could do, there's 13, we could do a month of Sundays on a few of them, but I think they're unique in what they say, and if you listen to them, thinking about this visionary man from the 1700s and how it applies to who we are today and what we teach. His first virtue was temperance. Eat not to dullness, drink not to elevation. Oh! Yeah. Okay, so throw that one out. All right. No. Number 2, silence. Speak not but what may benefit others or yourself. Avoid trifling conversation. Wow. So he probably meditated, didn't even know it. And it doesn't sound like he participated in gossip, which I admire. Number 3, order. Let all your things have their place. Let each part of your business have its time. Balance. This guy knew. Okay, I'm going to be over here, and I'm going to be silent. Now I'm going to be over here, and I'm going to write the Declaration of Independence. Okay, balance. Number 4, resolution. Resolve to perform what you ought to. Perform without fail what you resolve. Oh yeah, I know. Responsibility, accountability. This guy. Ooh. Number 5, frugality. Make no expense but to do good to others or yourself, i.e., waste nothing. Go green. This guy ahead of his time. Number 6, industry. Lose no time. Be always employed in something useful. Cut off all unnecessary actions. 7, sincerity. Use no hurtful deceit. Think innocently and justly, and if you speak, speak accordingly. 8, justice. Wrong none by doing injuries or omitting the benefits that are your duty. Again, this is about service. I'm hearing seva in this. I'm hearing what Swami Vivekananda talked about. I'm hearing all of the things from the Declaration of Human Rights, the Interdependence Day. Number 9, moderation. Avoid extremes. Forbear resenting injuries so much as you think they deserve. Oh, okay, that kind of moderation I can do. I was worried. Moderation. Number 10, cleanliness. Tolerate no uncleanliness in body, clothes, or habitation. 11, tranquility. Be not disturbed at trifles or at accidents common or unavoidable. Tranquility. Number 12. Yes, I know it's Sunday. I know where we are. Number 12 is chastity. Breathe. Rarely use venery, but for health or offspring, never to dullness, weakness, or the injury of your own or another's peace or reputation. And number 13, humility. Imitate Jesus and Socrates. Imitate Jesus and... So we could do WWJD or WWSD, or as many of us are known, WWED. What would Ernest do? What would Socrates do? What would Jesus do? Or what would Ben do? These gentlemen, our founding fathers that we focus on today, including the founding father of religious science, Science of Mind, Ernest Holmes, their intention in consciousness from their vision, from that heartfelt idea, is what runs and courses through our veins. It's what calls us to a place like this where a tribe gathers on a Sunday or throughout the week to practice these principles, whether they're reflective of these virtues of which Ben Franklin lived his life, or whether they're reflecting the virtues that we choose for ourselves or that we espouse in this teaching of compassion, our values of love and integrity, spiritual growth, abundance, prosperity, and joy. That we get to do that because people like Ben Franklin or Will Durant or this wonderful inmate Buddhist monk, Jarvis Masters, that they do that so that we do that. They don't do it so, well, here I'm going to be really, magnificent and go over and do this kindness act and be compassionate so that all of you may follow in my, footsteps. It's not about that. It's because it's innately wired in them. It is their inalienable right. And as we know about race consciousness in this teaching, That's the fabric of race consciousness to which I want to place my attention, not the fabric of race consciousness that's got the negative foundation. And we all have had that. It still exists. It's in our media. It's in our generational thing of all the stuff that we were taught on a negative race consciousness basis. And I'm going to talk about that at the end of the month. The things that, rule us, you can't fight City Hall. I'll never win. All those things that told us we can't and you're not. These gentlemen, these women, these pioneers, these leaders taught us, fought for us, lived their lives to role model that for us, that we have the opportunity to live in peace, in integrity, with authenticity, with abundance, with all of these other virtues: tranquility, balance, order, resolution, temperance, moderation, tranquility, humility. Imitate Jesus or Socrates. Well, if that feels too far back, then all that we need to do is choose a leader. So, and it could be a hero in your own home and family. It doesn't have to be someone that's a celebrity or has made the name for themselves. Choose someone that you can role model. Choose someone so that when you start to go through stuff and you feel yourself getting cranky and starting to implode, you think about, well, what would Jesus do? Socrates do? Ernest do? What would, and you fill in who that, Gandhi do? Martin Luther King? Mother Teresa? These are all the famous ones, but I don't doubt that there is someone in each of our lives that we have such deep respect and fondness for, that if we just got still in the silence and we allowed ourselves to be open and humble, that we could reflect what they have already walked for us. And then we find that we're walking with them along that path of oneness. And when we do that, that's when we're participating in interdependence. Interdependence. Interdependence on Independence Week, knowing that, yes, we are Americans. We can do it ourselves. We are stoic and stalwart, and we can do anything, and we're such individuals. But we're individuals within the fabric of the one. It's taught in our history. It's taught in our faith and philosophy that we come together by choice in the oneness of God to be of service to God, humanity, each other, and ourselves. And sometimes that order changes. Sometimes it's important to be in service to ourselves first,